Welcome everybody. You join me here today with Colette Baron-Reid, Anna Denning. Colette, obviously best-selling author, published many oracle card decks, many other
Seven
sort of
books.
self-help books, and very recently, in fact, a new book called The Art of Manifesting, which dropped, I think, 2 days ago.
With my amazing co-author, Anna Denning, who you
With
might
Anna
know
Denning,
well.
who is a transformational coach, a neuro art coach, and a global leader in neuro art, and now founded, and we're going to move on to this in a bit, the AM method with yourself, Colette.
Yes, she did. We had a lot of fun tuning in to the universe and giving us this new method of doing things that are very fun.
And just a word about me, my name is Ian Colley. I'm actually a TV director by trade. Full disclosure, a complete novice in the world of neuro art, but I've been asked to come and talk to you two lovely ladies today about your adventures together, about your recent book, and about the art of manifestation. So let's get straight into it, shall we?
Can I just say that you also have a little cameo in the book?
Oh yeah.
Because
That's
you
right.
Actually, this is my partner, and we did mention him in the book because I've happily manifested him using the method in the book.
Just expand on that a bit, Anna, because you actually had a couple of photographs, didn't you? That this is before you ever met me, before you saw any images of me or anything like that. You had a couple of photographs that you were using to sort of manifest your future partner, I guess.
Husbands, I would. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you have any?
Okay. We're doing this now, are we?
Well, I did predict it.
Well, okay. So I decided to go literally to a vision. Maybe it's time to find a love in my life. So I concentrated on how I wanted to feel in the relationship, and I actually created a vision board with a happy couple. And the guy actually had a beard and everything. And a couple of months later, I met Ian.
What was crazy, which she's not telling you, because of course, whenever we are asked to tell a story, we forget half of it, but I remember everything she told me. Like, she showed me the tiny little picture that she put together that literally could be his double. Like, it is so intensely exact. Like, I was like that, oh my God.
So first of all, talk to me about how you guys got to work together. You said in the book launch that you manifested each other. So just talk us through that process and how that happened.
I'll tell you how this went. So I broke my foot. So I am also, like Anna, an artist. So I couldn't stand in front of a canvas. So I was stuck in bed, and I started taking classes online. I've always been interested in line art, but you know, I am a metaphysical teacher and have been teaching about manifestation for over 30 years. So I was also in the back of my head going, how would I put this together with that? Then I discovered Anna and I joined her membership. I tried Neurographica. I found it had too many rules, although it's fantastic. In no way am I putting that down. It was lovely, wonderful, whatever, but I am way more spiritual and I like glitter, and that wasn't allowed. So I just did my own thing. I started teaching to my group a kind of a version of line art that was innately, fascinatingly, the steps of it was Anna was doing that. So we made friends. Like I was like, I quit the other thing, and I loved the way she taught art. She was a beautiful artist. Anyhow, I had already taught all the Hay House people how to do this form of drawing, my version of it, and they offered me a book deal. So I called Anna and said, listen, do you develop this with me? Because we both are Reiki masters. We both are interested in all the same things. And we were both actually doing some of the exact same things. We just hit it off, and like we even look a little bit alike. Right?
Absolutely. I was just going to make a point about how we gravitate towards people who kind of look similar to us. And in the book launch the other day, you could have been twins.
So I am a partner person, but I watched Anna teach in her membership. One of the calls, she was doing this flower drawing or whatever, and I was following along and really loving it. And she was saying, well, this is going to my career, and I don't know who the universe is going to send to me. So I wrote to her and I said, listen, you know that I just watched your video and I'm the person you're manifesting, and here's what's happening, and I got a book deal and you want to do it with me, and the rest was history. Literally, it was like the universe went, here you go, girls, here, let's make it easy, here. It happens so fast, right, Anna?
Yeah, so eventually we started talking, and I remember on the phone, Colette gave her name, and I literally had a deck of Colette's card on my table. And I knew about you for years. And when you gave me your name,
it was funny.
I was like, really? Really?
Are you
oh my
me,
God.
Colette Baron-Reid? I'm like, who cares? Yes, we're going to be partners. It's just like, get over it. Now, we're not the first people, obviously, because it was a ton of research out there already. But we are the first people to really put the two together: spirituality, metaphysics, science, and art.
And quantum physics, can I just say? Because when we were talking, I was like, oh my God, I love this. I'm reading all this research about entanglement, about quantum physics. I've got a friend who just done his PhD in quantum computing. And I was like, we've got to put it, because consciousness, this is how it operates. And yes, so we have quantum physics in the book as well.
So, but the only thing is that was really important to both Anna and I, and we have a very big mutual love and respect for each other, is we wanted to make it easy for people and less bogged down by rules, right? So we're very rebellious against the rules in this. And when I say against, because it needs to flow. So while you will see some similarities visually in line art, in different forms of line art, it's the application. It's what do we make these symbols mean? So while we are very respectful of other ways of teaching line art, our way is very specific, that it is flow, that it is unrestricted, because we're creating a holistic approach that would mirror all parts of the universe and not just some of it. So yeah, I could just go on forever. Sorry.
No, there's obviously loads of synchronicity there. You've obviously struck a chord with each other. What was the most surprising thing about working together? If you give me one example each of what surprised you the most, because obviously you're both, you both are very successful in your own right. You fly solo generally. It can be quite difficult sometimes to let somebody into your worlds. So what was surprising about your collaboration?
Anna, you want to go first?
Yes, because for me it was collaborating on the book was something I drew about, but I've never actually done, and I didn't realize how fun it would be. But then when actually Colette is so wonderful, she's so down to earth, she's a legend, she's fascinating, but she's so a lovely human, kind, generous human being. I was skeptical before starting this work about channeling. I knew about manifesting, but literally I would say that we channeled that book.
Yeah.
Because it was just like literally you could almost like feel something, like all the information is coming down. Surreal, the most surreal, amazing process.
I have always wanted to work with a super smart person. All right. And what was fantastic about Anna is how intelligent she is and how sharp she is, but also how loving and kind and supportive and generous she is. There was just this synergy between us, and I consider myself really smart. And I was like, oh my God, I have a smart friend. Not to say that my friends are not smart, but Anna she knows stuff, like she could pull it out. And I'm like, wow, you inspire me. And that's what I wasn't expecting. Even though she was so inspirational for me as an artist, she just understood what we were doing and was super open. And I was not sure how it was going to go, but I just knew she was the one. And I love that about her capacity to be able to just even intellectually be able to recognize the difference. And so we can really teach people that while supporting everybody at the same time, right? And like, with not taking away from anyone. And I think we've really accomplished that.
Imagine you're talking to an idiot, which you are, a novice in this world that you are both so competent in Talk to me about manifestation. It's such a buzzword at the minute. You hear the kids talking about manifestation all the time. I hear my kids, I have two teenagers, and I hear
They
them
would
talking
love
about
to do this.
manifestation all the time. It's not something that existed when I was a child, or not something I really knew anything about before I met Anna, to be honest with you. So tell me, what is manifestation? How does it work?
So manifestation is when you conscious manifestation. There's two kinds. One, where we're unconsciously manifesting the world that we live in based on what we rehearse internally. So if you are consistently rehearsing negative thoughts, that's what you're going to notice in the outer world. And there's a reason for that. So there's a system in the brain called the reticular activating system, and it acts as like a bouncer. So if you could imagine that you have a party in your head, right? And that party says, when I look out the window, all I want to see is more of the same party. I don't want to see anything different, because that's what its job is. It's the bouncer. If anything other than what you're rehearsing comes to the door, it says, no, you can't get in, get to the back of the line. We are systematically created to move towards our expectations, which is one of the reasons why, for example, you have such a great disparity in the world. When somebody is born with a lot of wealth, they have just an expectation and an intentionality that's built into them that they're always going to see this. So that's why it seems to be easier for them, but it's really just how they've rehearsed things. Whereas somebody who needs to maybe work a little harder on rehearsing a different state of being can completely change their life no matter where they come from. So when you set intention with this, you set something up called synchronicity, which is a meaningful coincidence that tells you where to look. Anna, I knew I wanted a partner. I knew I was going to do it. I knew right away back in that January when I started showing the Hay House people this new technique that I was developing. And I was like, I need a partner. I know I need a partner. Right. And then it happened to be her. Right. And it was just then she said and I was like, okay, that's the one big giant intentional synchronicity, because both of us want to help people and let them know that anyone can do this. There is no barrier to entry. So that is what manifestation is. It is see it, believe it's yours, rehearse that belief, and then whatever form that is correct for you will come. Because sometimes it's not the exact form. You just happen to be the perfect person for her, which just happened to look exactly like the picture. Right? But what we are doing, manifestation, according to what we do, uses art as an intermediary, and it makes it easy for people to do it.
I totally agree. And for example, I just wanted to give an example.
Yeah.
That was my next question, actually. If you're going to apply that in everyday life, give us an example of in your life where you've manifested something and how it played out.
For some reason, when I was a child, I probably was lucky. And when I was a child, sort of teenager, somebody told me, I was like, manifestation is easy. If you want something, you just need to, imagine it, rehearse it in your mind. And so I wasn't born in England, but I always wanted to live in an English-speaking country. But I would imagine in my head, sort of my reticular activating system was looking for opportunities. I went and I studied in America, but I kind of let go, and I ended up in England in the right place at the right time. So I think what is very important is imagining, but then letting go. Because a lot of people, they have this exact picture, and it has to be that color of that car at that time. And it doesn't work like that. As you say, you need to be able to wise enough to let go sometime and to surrender. Because I think the universe and the spirit knows when you're ready to accept that gift.
I love the example of surrendering, because I think when young people, and you've probably heard your kids talk about this, that it's about the attachment to the actual thing instead of how we want to feel, right? So you want to feel a certain way, because I do think it can be sometimes easy to actually manifest the thing. So we get very hung up on the form of the thing we say we want, thinking that it's going to make us feel a certain way. What we do is we ask people to say, okay, so what do you think that thing you're attached to is going to make you feel when you get it? What if something better could make you feel the exact same way? I'll give you a really perfect example. My husband and I were looking for an apartment in Toronto, and I knew I saw the water. So I immediately went, it's got to be the beaches, because we used to live there. And we were so insistent that the condo is there. And then everything fell through. Like, we did not understand how it's possible to be turned down by so many times. And then I said, well, I have never did a drawing. I'm going to do a drawing. So I'm just going to be happy. And then I'm going to tell the universe, maybe if it's meant to be that it's just my house and I'm not supposed to have the apartment, I'm going to let that go too. Here's the drawing I did. So this is the drawing. Yeah.
Wow.
So this is exactly our AM method, how Anna and I have developed it. You know, we do all the steps, and then I did the drawing, and then I finished it, and I just felt good anyway. And I was like, you know what? We have a beautiful home anyway. If it's meant to be, it's great. If not, let's see. So we were on our way. We had 3 apartments to see, on our way to the beaches, and they canceled us on the way. Because I'd asked the universe, take it away if it's not that. And I was like, I can't believe this. And the only 2 that were available, it was in a building I didn't want to go to. I went, fine, we'll go. And so many bizarre synchronicities, like the code to get into the unit was our address here in the country. Impossible. All these long numbers were like, how is this even possible? Then it was 1111. And my husband and I was like, and so we walked into that second unit, and all I saw was the water. I didn't see any of the construction from the windows. And even though there was no touch, I'm like, oh my God, I love this. This is it. So I had not gone. Had I just been me and like want what I want and just got super disappointed, I was like, okay, universe, you show me, surprise me then. And it did. So, and that's exactly what we teach.
It works, guys.
And it really does. And we wouldn't have published this book if it didn't. So it was fascinating that we are literally drawing the universe as a mirror, and it's going to be shown back to us. But it's the feelings that are most important.
Great. So, I mean, it feels to me like quite a good segue into the book. And so if we can sort of bring all of that we've talked about with manifestation into kind of the book. And you've sort of chosen to create this method to sort of almost explain to people how drawing can be an enabler of your dreams. Yeah. Say if there was a passage in the book that anybody could flick to who has the book now and it would explain everything. Is there any particular part of the book that you think that sums it up perfectly?
I think the beginning where we give them the steps, right, Anna?
I was thinking that it's literally the very first drawing that people will do. And if they do exactly what we tell them, they will just feel that expansion, that connection. They will feel that field of opportunities. They will kind of go through that portal, because you're kind of like, you set your intention, you step through the portal, and where anything is possible. And you feel that connection with the spirit, like somebody's hugging you, somebody's holding you, and everything is possible. It's just that sensation and the gratitude.
With the gratitude bubbles. So it's gratitude makes what we put down come alive. And we really believe that, both Anna and I. And I think there's that passage, I think it's in the Bible, where it says, where 2 or more are gathered in my name, there I am. And it needed to be 2 of us to do this, not just 1 of us, 2 of us.
Strength in numbers.
Yeah.
If you could just give us an example of how you started drawing. What's your earliest memory, for both of you this is, of drawing, and at what point in your artistic journey did you actually realize it could really change things in you for the better?
So I was drawing since I remember. Like, one of my earliest memories were doing this or this on the wall, on the fence in our yard. And my mom was a psychiatrist, and I was her guinea pig, because she would go and she do additional lessons. So she always studied, she always came back with these new things, and she made me draw. And she also, there's one thing I still remember. I was, as a child, you would get angry, you will get upset in the kindergarten, etc. And then in school, and she said, well, instead, just kind of do this. Just let your angry child out. And I remember I did that. And also she will ask me to draw things like trees and houses.
Yeah.
And then she will question me why I've done this certain way. And then, for example, she will go, oh, why don't you add another window? And I realized back then, I was quite young, that by adding like little elements to my current drawing, that changed how I feel. It changed my mindset. it changed my outlook on the situation. So I think this was thanks to my mom. I understood the power of art.
Love it.
And that's absolutely fundamental, I guess, to the message of the book, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
That you, if you draw, you can change your mindset. You can enforce positive change within yourself and others, hopefully.
For me, I just drew since I could remember. And I have very anxiety. I have very bad anxiety. I've been in the program almost 40 years now. I've been clean and sober. So I had a lot of mental health issues when I was growing up. Being what I am, you know, being the intuitive and not knowing what it meant. Drawing was the thing that actually made me feel very grounded. I remember finger painting. Okay, so I was 5 years old. My mom would give me a metal can and she would give me a paintbrush and it was just filled with water. And I would spend all day painting the stairs with water, right? And just looking at the different little things that would show up there. So it was very, very interesting that my mom knew intuitively. And every time I would draw, she praised me. So looking back, that was innate. It was just really innate in me.
Feel, Colette, how does it make you feel when you draw, and when you draw specifically with the AM method?
I feel plugged into the universe. I feel completely plugged into the universe and I am transported. I'm calmer. I don't start calm sometimes, right? So I'm calmer. I'm like back into the flow again. Nothing else does it for me as well as this. Nothing else does.
Anna? I
feel happy. I feel a little bit high, you know, especially when you do gratitude bubbles. As I like, you know, how you said high as a kite. And I go into that space of this rhythm, just following, just feeling connected to something bigger than myself.
So it makes you feel, it fundamentally makes you feel better about yourself, and it helps you to make sense of the universe around you, which is obviously, you know, the biggest, I guess, the biggest USP, the biggest selling point of this book and this method. We talked about Zentangle, we talked about Neurographica. How does the AM method differ from these two things? Why should people pick up the art of manifestation and study this method as opposed to anything else?
The difference is more about how we approach it, how we activate our paper, how we start with a dot, how we have portals that we step through. So it's our process that really is very different than those two things. So where line art is always going to be line art, there's only so many shapes and wavy lines in the world, but it's what we make ours mean. And Anna can speak much better to that. But like Zentangle is repetitive and you do the same exact thing over and over again. You have these really gorgeous patterns. Ours is not repetitive, but there's a real sense of flow. And we are actually drawing elements of how we communicate to the universe and how the universe communicates back with us. So it's how we symbolize the actual elements on the paper themselves, and the steps that we do to get there makes us different than any other process. But Anna, you have more details because you're a neurographic instructor.
Together with everything that Colette said, ours is about freedom of creativity. Yeah. There are no rules. There's obviously steps. There's certain things that we always do with the drawing. What do you want to draw? What does it mean for you? What shape do you want to pick? What face do you want to put there? Do you want to put a mushroom there? Great. I was drawing yesterday. If I can find it. Yeah.
Oh my God, I love it.
Oh my God, it flew away. Yeah, so that's a money toad, right?
Oh my God, I love it. Toad.
Anything that's important. Yeah, so any feng shui symbols, anything, whatever you like. It's about freedom of expression. It's about not overthinking. It's about no rules. It's about becoming a child. And I think when you're a child, anything is possible. It's just getting that space is like, oh my God, universe can do anything. Connecting with the spirit, connecting with your inner child and having fun.
And ours is specifically metaphysical. That's the other thing. Ours is spiritual, it's mystical, it's feminine, it's playful.
Amen
We're
to that.
sisters
So
of the soul.
it's art without limits, one for the rule breakers, I guess. if manifestation was a mocktail, what would your mocktail be called?
Mine is number one is doodles on the beach. Because I love my favorite thing to do on holiday is doodling as I sit down on the beach by looking at out the sea. And the second one is synchronicity spritz, sparkly, refreshing, and full of surprises.
Love that. How about you, Colette?
Okay, so my first one was called Fizzy Fizzy Doodle Dandy. The other one was Synchronicity Elixir.
What if this book had a soundtrack or a theme tune? What would that tune be, or what would that soundtrack be?
We actually have one, and we have one, and it is a playlist that you can download off my site and Anna's ColetteBaron-Reid.com/book, which is our book, and there is a playlist that people can download on Spotify.
Which drawing tool can you not do without?
Unipins.
Oh my!
Yeah, or those
microns.
two. Microns and Unipins. I don't know. They're in my purse. They're in every room. They're in the bathroom. They're by the toilet. And any size paper that comes from Winsor Newton that is smooth.
Yeah, it needs to be smooth.
Smooth. Yeah.
Yep.
Anna Denning and myself debuted at #1 in creativity. We are #1 in stress management. We are #1 in meditation, but it changes every day. And we really needed to say that because that makes us very proud of what we've done together as a team. And so Amazon, any bookseller, and the best part is it's the best Christmas present. Since we're coming up to the holidays, you want to buy 10 copies.
Yes, definitely, to all your friends, because and they will thank you for it.
Oh yeah, they will. They will. And come to our YouTube channel, or I forgot to tell you we're going to do something on YouTube, but we'll keep you posted.
Amazing.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you
Ian.
for talking to me. Thank you. It's been very enlightening and fun, and all the best with the book. Everybody should go out and buy it, like you said. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
you.
Thank you.